Would you like to learn English successfully? Well, I'm about to give you the only tips you'll need to improve your English successfully. Let's go see what they are. In order for us to be successful in learning English, we need to know that there are 4 basic language skills that we need to develop, which are listening, speaking, reading, and writing, in that order. So, to achieve all 4 of these basic skills, we need to dedicate our everyday lives to English. But that's kind of hard, right? Because we have other things to do in our daily lives. But here's the catch. Anything you do, even if it's learning 1 word a day, that helps towards learning English, as long as it's consistent. Now, we'll be walking through all 4 of these skills, and I'll be giving you tips on how to improve each skill individually. Let's start. Listening is the first basic skill that we need to develop when learning English. We use our ears to listen. Now, there are 2 different types of listening that we are going to speak of. We have active listening and we have passive listening. Active listening is what we need to have when learning English. This is basically listening with all the attention on that one thing that you are listening to. For example, if you are listening to a lecturer or a teacher who is teaching you English, you focus on that teacher at that moment and what they are saying to you. You are not busy on your phone, you are not busy with books, you are not writing down, you are listening attentively. Active listening. Now let's go to the tips we need to improve our listening skills. Music. Now, listening to music is a great way to improve your listening skills. So go out there and find your favorite English music and listen to it constantly. From this, you can gather a lot of things, such as speech shadowing. So when you're singing along basically to a song that you like, you are speech shadowing. Even although you don't know what you are singing, you are learning pronunciation just by singing along to that song. TV shows, movies, newspapers, articles, whatever you into. Find your favorite TV shows or movies that you watch constantly and you're already familiar with the plot. This way, when you're listening to it in English, you can actually identify that scene or that part in that movie or TV show, and you can link the 2 languages together. This helps you so much. So if you may be watching a movie, try and put on the subtitles if you're not familiar with that movie. If not, and you really want to challenge yourself, turn off the subtitles completely and just watch them just like that. This will really challenge you, but will also help you in the long run. Actively listen when listening to someone who's speaking English. This is important for multiple reasons. Firstly, when you active listening to someone, you can capture everything that person is saying. What they are saying, how they are saying it, the pronunciation, and if you can identify anything that they are saying. So, when you're listening to someone who is speaking English, don't just listen. Actively listen. Maybe if you're sitting in a store and you hear someone speaking English, try to listen in on their conversation. I know that's bad, but try and listen in on their conversation as a game to see if you can identify certain words that they are saying, if anything that they are saying is familiar to you, and capture something that isn't. Try and go home and find it in the dictionary or Google it. Expand your knowledge, expand it. white noise. Your brain needs you to bring attention to certain things in order to remember them. However, passive learning is also a good thing and can have lots of benefits. White noise is basically background noise. So when you are cooking in the kitchen and you have the radio on, or when you are busy with an assignment and you have music playing in the background, those are all called white noises. You're not really actively listening to what's happening or what music is playing or what is on the radio. You are focused on what's in front of you and what you're busy doing. Those are just things to fill the dead air. But white noise can actually have a lot of benefits. Like when you think that you are not soaking up any information of the white noise or background noise, you actually are. Studies have shown that the brain actually soaks up certain things from background music or background noise. So when you're not in the mood to study or learn something new, or you're having a day where you're just not feeling motivated, have some English playing in the background, whether it be music, a TV series, a movie. Just go about your day and have that playing in the background. I'm sure you'll pick up something from that white noise. Speaking. Now, firstly, we use our mouth to speak, and secondly, this is the skill that everybody actually wants to learn, right? Everyone wants to speak English. So let's get into the tips that will help us develop and improve our speaking skill. So it's actually not rocket science. If you need to improve your speaking skill, you need to speak more. Learning all the information in the books and listening to lectures and reading, these are all well and they work. But you won't be able to speak the language if you don't speak the language. So talk to yourself, listen to how you pronounce words. Speak out loud, even if you're not confident enough to do it in front of others. Go home by yourself and speak. Maybe record yourself and listen to how you sound. This way you can improve on what you are lacking. And if you're learning something new, try and use that over and over. Use your words, speak out loud so that you can hear what you sound like. It goes back to listening, but this time you're listening to you. Learn small phrases that you would use in your everyday life so that you can actually use them constantly throughout the day. For example, I am hungry. I am tired. I need to eat now. It is time to sleep. Let's go and play. I need to study. Today will be a good day. Things like this. Take some common phrases that you know in English and use them throughout your day repetitively. And then once you become familiar with all the phrases that you already know, get new ones. Challenge yourself. Never stay in your comfort zone. Always grow. Speak to others in English. Now this can be a bit intimidating, but once you're confident enough, speak to others in English. Find yourself an English buddy who you can speak English to constantly. Challenge yourself by asking them questions, having a full-on conversation with them. Even if you mess things up, you can laugh about it and move on. This is how we learn. We make mistakes and we grow from it. So don't be afraid to make a mistake. Expand your vocabulary. Expand your vocabulary as often as possible. Each day, find something that you can learn, whether it be one word or a phrase, and use what you've learned throughout the day. For example, we can use the word eat. Now, eat we can use constantly throughout the day. For example, I want to eat chicken for lunch. Do you like to eat salad? I don't like to eat late at night, and so on. So find a word and use that throughout your day repetitively. Make sure that you learn something new every day, whether it's small and it seems insignificant to you. It will help you in the long run. Reading. To develop this skill takes a lot of practice and time. So let's get right into learning the tips we need to improve and develop our reading skills. Watch your favorite TV shows with the captions on. For example, listening to something is very effective, but listening and reading something is even more effective. When you can listen to something that and identify it, and you read what you identify, this can really help you. For example, so when you are watching your favorite TV shows, pay attention to the captions and listening actively to the show that you are watching. Try to identify what you hear with what you see. This will really improve your reading skills. Listen to audible books. Listening to something in English while reading the subtitles helps you link the two, like I said before. Now, since you already have the listening skill, this really helps you to identify what you are reading and will improve on your reading skills. So use audible books to listen while you are reading. Create a regular reading routine. Not a lot of people like reading, especially when you don't know the language. Try to create a consistency. This is very important. Learning won't take one step. It takes practice and consistency. So create a healthy reading routine and use books that are fun for you and interesting. Don't force yourself to read something that you don't want to. Even if it's an article or a newspaper or blog or the TV series. If you want to read comments from a TV series or a movie, go ahead and read that. As long as you're reading consistently, you are growing your reading skill. And the last skill to develop is writing. Let's get right into it. Write down words or expressions. Like we said before, learning something every day like a word or a phrase will help you with speaking, listening, and reading, as well as writing. So when you're trying to learn something, write them down. This way you can have an image of how the word is formed as well as the sentence. Writing something every day, whether it's just one word or one letter, that helps you. Remember, baby steps will get you there. Write as often as you can. So writing doesn't necessarily just mean pen and paper, right? You can also comment on videos, like YouTube videos, like this one. You can leave down comments as much as possible. So the next time you go to write a comment on a video, write it in English. Leave a comment wherever you can and write as much as you can. Every opportunity you get, use it to write English. And lastly, when you're learning the word of the day, write it down. Anything that you're learning, whether it's small, big, a sentence, a phrase, write things down. This way, whenever you're hearing something for the first time, you're not only developing the listening skill, you're also developing the writing skill. So next time you learn something new like a word, write it down. to develop our writing skill. You made it to the end of the video. I hope you learned something today. Go out and use what you've learned and keep on growing. Have a lovely day.